It's MistaJam on Capital Dance, and right now it is time for us to crank up the temperature dial, as it is time to chat to one half of the artist behind this week's Jam Hot Record of the Week. I am a massive, massive fan of this artist, so please bear with me if I fanboy out. Studio crew, please make some noise for Chloé Caillet!
Hello, thank you for having me.
Chloé, it is an absolute privilege having you here in the Capital Dance studio. As I say, I've been a fan of yours for a long while, and the reason why we've got you in is your brand new record. It's just so good.
Thank you.
So
I love
good.
it too.
Which is rightfully so.
Yeah.
So you should. This record, though, with Andre Zimmer, Come Back to Me, it's our Jam Hot Record of the Week. Take us back to the very beginning of this one. Where did the idea come from? What's the story behind this?
I mean, basically, Andre and I had been talking for a couple years online, as you do, because most things happen online.
Yeah.
And he'd sent me this record saying, this is such a sick record. And I was like, yeah, I'd actually never heard of it. And then we were like, we should do a rework of it, because there's parts of it that I was like, I don't think that this works so well today on the dance floor. Yeah. And so we just reworked it together. He was in Canada and I was in Ibiza. So we were sending each other stems back and forth for about a year and testing them out right away on the dance floor, being like, oh, let's tweak it. And after about a year and a half of tweaking, we got there, we got the final mix down, and now it's out.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So were you literally taking like demo version 1.2 and playing it out and going, right, that bit needs to move and that bit needs to move?
Exactly.
Wow.
And the greatest thing about making dance music is you can kind of make a tune and go out that same night and play it and be like, that part is just, that needs a little tweak. Which in a lot of other genres, you can't do that as immediately.
No, not at all. Was there any parts that kind of ended up on the chopping room floor that you think might come back for like a VIP or something?
I don't know. There's a whole section in the breakdown of the original where there's a vocal that we were really debating leaving in or out. And actually the other night, Andre played it with that vocal in it. And I was like, oh, that's actually quite a good middle eight. And I was like, we didn't leave it in there, but also leave it or take it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Depends how long you want your breakdown.
And also, there's plenty of remixes potential.
Plenty.
Do you know what I mean?
Plenty.
Now, I love the fact as well that you've been documenting the journey of this record, because your Instagram's full of loads of amazing kind of crowd reactions to each version of the record. Was there one place in particular where you played it where you were like, no, this is definitely something?
I mean, at Circo Loco in Miami in December, I played it, and I've never seen a crowd that was that young react to a record that was kind of the original, was a lot older than they were. And they just started jumping and chanting, and I was just like, whoa, this is a really, really crazy reaction. I had to kind of sit back and take it in.
I've got one!
Maybe we got one.
Did you do straight on the text to Andre? Andre, guess what?
Yeah, I think I texted Andre that night being like, wow. And my team were like, wow. And everyone was just a bit like, okay, yes, this is the next single. We're good. Let's go.
I love that. I mean, because you needed to come with a big one after the previous one, because that was pretty huge.
I know, no pressure.
You don't feel pressure.
I do. Putting out, I also never expected the one to kind of get the reaction it did. It was a record made with so much love. And it was, I think we made it with Luke in about 3 hours. It was one of them that was just kind of made and done, and then that was the story of it. So this one, following up with another one was just like, okay, how are people gonna react? But as long as you love the record, I think that's what matters the most.
Chloé, I want to take you all the way back because you're wearing an amazing Yes t-shirt.
Yes.
Does that mean that you grew up listening to prog rock?
My whole life. I'd actually say that my first love was rock music.
Really?
And I grew up playing in bands most of my life. And I collect band t-shirts. And I've been to so many rock concerts way before I started raving. And today I'm kind of working on intersecting the two worlds.
That's interesting. Where did dance music come from for you, though? If you were a rock head and, Yes are an amazing band and Rick Wakeman on the keyboards, I can see a link. But was it listening to more electronic style music that got you into dance?
I guess it was in Paris during the sort of Ed Banger early days.
Oh, that'll do it.
With Social Club, with Justice's first album. And, that world really intersected rock and dance music because a lot of the instrumentation, a lot of the sounds were not the same, but they had a lot of elements of what a rock concert or rock music makes you feel. And then I went to Bristol, where I discovered drum and bass and dubstep and that whole world. And that was very new and very different to anything I'd heard. And it was the same kind of energy that was just kind of raw and rough and made you want to just kind of move in all kinds of fun ways.
Oh, yes.
So that was that. And then I fell in love with house music along the way. But yeah.
Once house music gets you, it doesn't let you go.
No, it never leaves you.
I love the idea, though, of you intersecting the worlds. I'd love to hear how that's going to end up sounding. I've got something in the back of my head, but you're going to nail it. That's going to be amazing.
Working on it. Working on a bigger form project right now, where those two things hopefully will find the right way of meeting.
Album?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I've got a theory that any dance music artist that is making an album right now, you're setting yourself up for a 25-year plus career. Because it feels like we're cyclical within dance. And the last time we were where we are now, where underground music is getting a mass audience, we got people like Fatboy Slim, we got the Chemical Brothers, we got Just East, we got Daft Punk. And now I feel like, those artists that are now making an album.
I didn't think about it like that. But yeah, I feel like, at least for me, the one thing that I struggle with the most is just that my influences are so vast and varied. And when I'm making dance EPs, I feel sometimes that I'm a little bit put into the box of having to make music that makes people dance on a dance floor. And recently, I've just been making a lot of records that might not only just do that, but also might have a bit of a different BPM, different kinds of instruments, different kinds of feature artists. So opening the scope with an album just feels a little bit more aligned with who I am as an artist.
That's really exciting. Would you say, thinking about, your past of, college in Somerset, university in New York City, Paris, London, Ibiza, is it traveling around that's informing your love for lots of different styles of music? And when you're in different situations, are you thinking, I'd like to make a song for this rather than just for the dance floor?
I think so. I think I grew up spending a lot of time in a lot of different cultures. And definitely today when I'm in the studio and I hear little things come out, I'm like, oh, that's definitely from that time in my life when I was doing that. And I don't know why it just comes back. And same with now with touring, I guess I get to go to so many cool places in the world. Like I spent a lot of time in Brazil, and the music there is just so inspiring and so different that you just pull a bit of that when you hear a record or when you talk to an artist there. So I think it's our job as artists to kind of soak in what's happening around and somehow put it back out to the world in our own language. And
when you're touring, do you get much of a chance to kind of go and soak in the culture properly?
Yeah, I make sure I do. If not, what is the point of touring? Do you know?
Yes.
Why go all the way to Japan and play a gig after 18-hour travel if you can't spend a couple of days and go record shopping, or at least go eat the local food,
Wow.
Or talk to locals, or just try and immerse yourself a bit.
I love that. I really do. And also, we need to talk about, because when it comes to DJing, we mentioned it. I think it's safe to say that you are the master of the back-to-back. Like, literally, the pinnacle of the back-to-back collaborator, from Chris Dussy, Solomun, Maluji, Salute. What's the secret to a great back-to-back?
Listening, being present, and not trying to do it for you. I think a back-to-back is a dialogue. It's like going on your first date. You got to listen to what's happening. You got to understand who you're playing with, and you have to take risks. And I think the best back-to-backs I've done are with artists that really aren't afraid of going to new territories, or also if you play a record that's a bit different, they can follow you. Or also playing with artists that play a bit differently to you. It kind of pushes you to create a new dialogue. And I honestly, I love back-to-backs. Find them really educational. And when they're good, they're amazing. You end the night just feeling like you've just done something different than your own normal set.
Who's left on the list of people that you'd love to go back-to-back with?
Love to play back-to-back with Honey Dijon.
Oh, please, if that ever happens, make sure that me and Harry are there. We'll be front row.
I think that'd be pretty epic. I love Honey.
The shapes that we would throw. The shapes that we would throw. And we mentioned it earlier on, but the Avengers of Dance Music back-to-back that you did with Mal P, Solomun and Four Tet at Ultra Miami last year.
Wow.
You broke the internet.
Yeah.
My timeline was full for about 3 months of that set, and I was not upset with it in any way, shape, or form.
That was just so surreal. My set got really cut short by the rain. It was like torrential hurricane rain. There was actually water that came through the ceiling into my DJ set. The CDJs went one by one. And I was left to one CDJ, and the stage manager was like, do you want to keep going? I was like, there's like 8,000 people there. I don't just want to play on one CDJ. If that's okay, can we take a pause?
Can you get some new decks?
Can we just pause so I also don't get electrocuted?
Yes, of course.
So then we stopped, and then sort of because that all happened, I think Solomun had realized, and he was just like, I think we should all do all back-to-back for the closing. And obviously playing with Four Tet, who's one of my biggest inspirations, it was all very surreal, and was quite nervous. I had to pick my records really well because we only got to play, I think, 3 records each.
Yeah.
So they had to mean something. But it was a pretty big moment.
What's the one record that you wish that you got the chance to play that nearly made it but didn't quite?
It's a great question. I don't think I played the one.
No.
Yeah. No, I didn't play the one.
No! You didn't play the one!
Not in that moment, no.
Right, okay, we need to rectify that situation because that actually, we need to play it on the radio. We can all pretend that we're there. It's raining in the UK, so that's fine. We've got the weather covered. I don't know if we can cover the health and safety aspect of potentially being electrocuted. But as you mention it, that record right there, I grew up with that original, and I've heard many a rework. And no one has come close to the energy of the original until you and Luke delivered the one.
Wow, thank you. That means a lot.
Honestly, like, trust me, every wedding, every barbecue, every christening, somebody else's guy comes on, all the aunties get up and they lose their mind and everyone's just kind of... But you've got exactly that element of that energy. What was going through your mind when you and Luke were making it as an edit?
Well, the funny story is that Luke and I, that was the first time we'd met in person. We'd also been chatting online for a few years, and I was like, come to Ibiza, let's make music. We were meant to work on day one. We ended up partying for 3 or 4 nights in a row.
You're in Ibiza?
Yeah. And no studio was done then. And then I was like, right, I think we should get in today. I think there's something about today. And we went into my studio and we actually made the record without the vocal.
Right.
First. And then I said to Luke, have you heard about this record, somebody else's guy? And he never heard of it, the original one. So we put the a cappella on top of it and it was in the same key. It just fit perfectly. And we were like, right, let's just leave this as a placeholder and we're never going to clear this record and we'll just try and find someone that can do what this is, which is impossible, by the way, because no one can do what Jocelyn Brown does.
No.
No, really. And so that record stayed in the record bag for 2 years because we couldn't figure out what to do with the vocal, I guess, until Chris Tassi played it out and then everyone realized it existed and the rest is history.
See, the thing that I love about it more than anything is the fact that Jocelyn Brown gets credited on that record as well. You say, of course, but we all know what dance music's like. Doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen.
No, but it was very, very important to me because similar to you, I grew up listening to that record and that record means so much more to me than just being a track that's now been worked for today. It's a track that I loved from the first moment I heard it. And I used to play it in almost every set, either as the opening tune or the closing tune. So having that out there with her as a feature on the record is mind-blowing. And also, I saw some videos somewhere that she hadn't been given any rights to the original, and we actually gave her almost full rights on this one. So I hope that she's living with this new version, you know?
I think that being said, anybody that wants to play the original version, no, play this version because then Jocelyn gets paid.
Yeah.
Let's replace the original version to this one where she gets properly credited and properly paid.
But it's important, you know, these artists are the pioneers of what we do. Without some of the records Jocelyn Brown did, house music would not probably be the same. And I think a lot of times, especially today, a lot of young artists are trying to rebring that energy in by editing or sampling and putting out records without clearing them properly. And I think you're not doing right to the artist who made it in the first place. So it's really important to do that.
It's really, I've really wanted to have this conversation with you because you are such an artist. Everything that you do, I can see it has meaning. Everything that you release, I see has meaning. Every set that I've seen you play, there's a meaning behind it. There's a connection to the music. And stepping away from the artistry, there's something else that you're doing that I think really needs to be celebrated. The other side of your career as label owner and party planner. Like, talk to me about Smile, which is your label and your event series.
So Smile started, I think we're on our 3rd year now, fully operational. But it's been such an amazing process of learning, but also being able to do things that I want to do. Because having your own platform means that you're kind of the master at the things that you want to do. A lot of work, but a lot of fun too. And I guess the label has been so much fun to find artists that I really get behind, or, you know, there's so much good music being made today, and I just get sent so many demos. And I started the label because I was like, there's too much good music and no one knows who these artists are. What can we do about it? So I just started putting out people that I loved, and the response and feedback has been amazing. Then also being able to put out my records on the label. And this year we've got so many interesting artists on there. We're also launching a vinyl subsidiary of the label this year called Smile Wax. So
You're about to make me broke.
But yeah, it's just been such an amazing process. And it's so nice to be able to also travel as an artist and discover other artists and DJs and be like, hey, I've got a platform. Let's put out your music. Let's do it, you know?
How important is that to you? Particularly for artists from like the queer scene as well, who there's not that many platforms on a grander scale that is nurturing talent.
I mean, it's the most important for me. I think I love A&R more than anything. And I love the art of discovery. You know, I love going digging for records. I love going to the depths of YouTube, the depths of the internet, and finding things that no one has seen. And I just find so much reward in being able to take that and then showing it to the world. Because I just think there's so many artists that don't get the right exposure and the right platforms, or they get tied into very weird label deals and don't know how to get out of them and never get the credit they need, you know?
I hear you 100%, and I 100% agree. I feel like I wouldn't be doing the job on behalf of the up-and-coming artist if I didn't ask you this question. If I'm listening to this right now and I'm thinking I've made something that I think Chloé Caillet is going to love, what is the best way of me being able to get my music to you in a way that you'll pay attention to it?
Email me, demos@chloecaillet.com. I listen to most demos. Might take a little bit to get back, but keep bugging me until I do. But really, I spend a lot of time in my emails listening to demos, and I do tend to get back to everyone.
That's really cool. Not everybody in your position does that.
It takes time, and there's actually something called Track Stack,
yes,
which I think I might start implementing, because it's a really nice way also to see for other artists, if your demos have been opened, what's the feedback on them, and it's a really nice one-to-one kind of way of interacting.
That's really cool. Really cool. But let's talk about the parties though, because what are the key elements that you feel that you need to get right for a proper Smile party?
Oof. I mean, honestly, it's quite simple. Like, it's a really good sound system. It's no VIP tables.
Can we just get a round of applause for that, please? Please.
You know,
there's nothing wrong with bottle service. It's just people don't dance.
Everyone is one. In our parties, everyone is one. You know, you're either working, therefore there's a place for you to be if you're working. There's a DJ booth, which if you're working, go to the DJ booth. But we are all one. That is the point of Smile. That's one of the main reasons why I started it, to kind of bring back this element of we are one. We are on a dance floor. And I'd say a great lineup. You know, it's important to have people that understand the art of whether you're opening up, playing in the middle, or closing. Those are very different slots, and it's very important to understand as a DJ where you're placed on a billing. So we pay a lot of attention to that. We pay a lot of attention to the way that we book our lineups. And I'd say working with a club that really understands what we need from them. You know, the flexibility, understanding that we have, we try to create inclusive spaces. So working with security that understand that, working with promoters that understand that, and that is not always that simple. No, it's not. It really isn't. Where do you want to take Smile? Are we talking like Smile Festival? Maybe. Don't leave it out. Okay. Right now, we just had our party on Friday in London at this venue called Lost, which was really fun and mental and just something I never seen like that before. An old cinema transformed into a club, and it was really, really special. But, you know, we're out there. We're looking for all kinds of different opportunities, and a festival would be cool. Fast forwarding to the rest of the year, you mentioned that you're working on a longer body of work. Is 2026 when we're going to get a Chloé Caillet album? Maybe we'll get some more material before then. What can we expect from you? I think this year there's a mid to short form project coming out, and the album will be for next year. Perfect. It's in the works big time, but I also don't want to rush the process of finishing it and putting it out. Well, whenever it's ready, the door is always open here. You are more than welcome anytime. Thank you for coming through today. Thank you so much for having me. Studio crew, please, can we make some noise for Chloé Caillet?